Hey! Hey there! Today I'm going to show you my updated build for Viessa. Viessa was probably one of the few who benefited a lot from Arche Tuning. If you've used Viessa before, one factor that made her really awkward to play was because of the lack of range in all her abilities. Going 2 range modules for her would sacrifice crucial DPS and quality of life modules like cooldown, so it was not recommended. Arche Tuning actually improved the range of all her abilities, and it made Viessa feel good to use in general now. Aside from overall DPS boost, Arche Tuning also made it so we no longer need cold-bloodedness. Cold-bloodedness was popular because of the 20% cooldown reduction to all her abilities. 90% cooldown reduction is now achievable without cold-bloodedness. The Descendant of choice is absolute 0. This module greatly increases Viessa's critical hit rate because she gets a bonus 20% flat crit rate. And because of this, we no longer need to use the Blue Beetle and instead go with other weapons like Peacemaker for effective hit points, movement speed, and grappling cooldown. A lot of you might say, why not Clairvoyance or even Frost Watcher? The problem with those weapons is that those weapons have a lot of requirements and conditions, especially the Frost Watcher. This build no longer requires you to shoot. You technically lose damage by shooting your weapons because it stops you from spamming your skills. The Clairvoyance shred isn't even that valuable for the loss in DPS, and that's explained in this video. You will be dealing more DPS by just spamming your skills instead of stopping and shooting your weapon for the bonuses and shreds. Peacemaker increases your effective hit points because of Defense Master and Tactical Change. Absolute 0 also makes it so you no longer need to use 4 crit modules, and you can absolutely remove emergency measures and replace it with Dangerous Ambush. 100% crit rate does sound cool, but you don't really need to have 100% crit rate chance. Arche Tuning with the other 3 crit modules will bring our crit chance to 96% instead of overcapping it using emergency measures. Dangerous Ambush provides more value for Viessa than emergency measures in this case, especially that Viessa naturally has the ability to immobilize your enemies because of her freezes. One of the main reasons why cold-bloodedness is no longer needed is because Absolute 0 changes all her skills into singular archetype. This technically boosts all your DPS because you will only need 1 reactor for every ability, meaning all her abilities reap the benefits of the reactor. Cold-bloodedness requires you to have a tech reactor because before, we focused on boosting her 4th ability's damage because that ability is dealing the highest DPS value. That meant that her other abilities won't get the benefit of the tech reactor because her other abilities are fusion archetype aside from her passive. This is on top of the fact that Absolute 0 boosts overall damage through skill power modifier, especially the huge increase of DPS for her passive ability. Using Absolute 0 also lets you keep the movement speed bonus from her 2nd ability, and also keeps the DPS factor that cold-bloodedness won't have. This ability leaves a trail of frost that damages your enemies and applies frostbite. This synergizes a lot when you use Dangerous Ambush, and makes this ability an amazing mobbing ability while giving you great quality of life because of the movement speed boost. This is the build. And this build checks all the boxes for quality of life and overall DPS. Hunter set caps your cooldown reduction to 90%, that's why cold-bloodedness is no longer needed. This also takes care of our mana problems, and you'll see how smooth and great this build feels in the showcase later. Technically, this build deals the best damage for Viessa. However, if you've played as Viessa, you know how mana hungry she is. So there might be situations where you need to replace Dangerous Ambush to MP Collector. If it arrives to that, just go with the Hunter set build. If I were to choose, I will be using the Hunter set, because the cooldown cap gives you enough quality of life to spam your skills for mobbing, and you don't really need too much damage for mobbing. This also gives you enough damage to one-tap or deal with elites and bosses. Though I can use the Slayer set for contents such as Void Erosion 30 and similar contents where the enemies are tougher. I can also tweak some modules using the Slayer set build for bossing. But then again, mana problem is going to gimp you. That's it for the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Smooth as ice.
Descendant, confirm arrival at the operation zone. Proceed with caution.
Take this. It's my turn now. Freeze. You can't escape. down! How dare they break my shield?
Descendant, enemy troops are being transferred.
Stay where you are. Shall we race? Scatter them! You can't escape. It's my turn now. Freeze. Take this. This could get messy. My shield is down. This is the ultimate chill. Take this. Scatter them. Take this. How dare they break my shield? This is the ultimate chill.